You are watching AYV Television.
Checking your motor insurance status can be done easily now with AfriCell. Dial *9292# from your AfriCell line. Press 1 to enter your vehicle registration number. Enter your vehicle registration number. You receive a confirmation message indicating your motor insurance status. AfriCell, the network for you.
With a taste this crisp, this pure, and this refreshing, it's like the whole world stops for you. 100% pure malt. Respect every sip.
As mama, I always want waiting best for me picking them, especially when it comes for waiting them for eat and drink. Now this make I always they choose Sarah juice because they make come from with local foods them and nutritious and it gets less sugar than the other drinks them. Not to me say so.
We lab test show say Sierra juice gets 50% less sugar than the other drinks them na the market.
Because we mama they know waiting best for we picking them, now make we always they choose Sierra juice. Sierra juice is nutritious, it's healthy, and it's sweet. Sierra juice, not the taste of Salone.
You can get Curry's beer and stout all over the country. Curry's beer and stout, you party, we're good for all gladdy.
The world don't go digital. Now that's make okay commercial bank ready for match up with the world. This now the e-banking department. We get products and services them we use online. Listen to what my colleague they get to say.
The e-banking department responds.
You are watching AYV Television.
Right, indeed, from our broadcasting house here on Wester Street in Sierra Leone's capital, Freetown. This is Primetime News on AYV Television and Radio. You're watching us on Channel 33. You're also listening to us this evening on frequency. New gender report highlights gaps in women's leadership despite 58% civil service workforce.
However, we are building a coalition that recognizes the empowerment of women and girls as central to peace, prosperity, and sustainable development.
Government has launched consultations on a national roadmap to tackle rising cases of mobile money fraud across Sierra Leone.
It's important we have these conversations from what we understand exactly the scale of the problem in front of us.
Also on Primetime News tonight, traders in Kabbalah are appealing to government to intervene as rising prices of goods continue to squeeze their businesses. Now for the news in details.
Checking your motor insurance status can be done easily now with AfriCell. Dial *9292# from your AfriCell line. Press 1 to enter your vehicle registration number. Enter your vehicle registration number. You receive a confirmation message indicating your motor insurance status. AfriCell, the network for you.
Mobile money has become central to everyday financial transaction in Sierra Leone, but as its use expands, so too do attempts to exploit users through deceptive calls and messages, manipulation, and unauthorized access to accounts. But the government says it's rolling out a national roadmap setting out on how authorities and industry can prevent, identify, and deal with mobile money fraud. The initiative follows the ministry's appearance before Parliament on Tuesday, the 4th August 2026, where officials faced questions over rising scams.
The versions of how they grow, and when we might say the industry, the telecom sector itself has grown, so you see the victims for this also grow. So it's important that we have these engagements. I think so for several reasons. One, it's important that we have these conversations from what we understand exactly the scale of the problem in front of us. I think it's important to note that these online scams, they're global in nature. And I think the opportunity is to see who are the gaps there, see who maybe we need to do a bit more in terms of coordinated response and approach. We will come on also with a standard response framework
Participants are expected to look beyond awareness campaigns, examine weaknesses in existing safeguards and ways to improve customer protection and the exchange of information. Telecoms operators have meanwhile stepped up public education not to disclose sensitive information or respond to suspicious requests for account details.
Cybersecurity is a national priority, ladies and gentlemen. NATCA will continue to work with the Bank of Sierra Leone, law enforcement, NCRA, cybersecurity institutions, open network operators, financial institutions, civil society, and other stakeholders to strengthen information, share incidents response, compliance, monitoring, and public awareness.
From the Bank of Sierra Leone's perspective, particular attention should be given to strengthening fraud prevention and detection, improving transaction monitoring, enhancing agent oversight, strengthening information sharing, and establishing effective mechanisms for the rapid reporting, freezing, and recovery of fraudulent funds.
As fraudsters adopt increasingly sophisticated methods, the workshop is expected to produce concrete measures for safeguarding customers, strengthening digital systems, and improving the national response to financial crime. Issa Bangura, AYV News, Freetown.
Australia's Gender Equality and Women's Empowerment Act of 2022 requires a minimum of 30% representation of women in decision-making positions. Yet, while women account for 58% of employees across the civil service, questions remain about their representation in leadership and other decision-making spaces. A new gender accountability framework and the 2025 annual report are now highlighting progress and gaps in the implementation of the GWE Act. Let's now hear from Edima Conte.
Passed in 2022, the Gender Equality and Women's Empowerment Act seeks to address gender imbalances by promoting women's participation in decision-making, employment and training, access to finance, as well as gender mainstreaming and budgeting. Under Section 9 of the Act, public and private institutions covered by the law are required to submit annual reports to the Minister of Gender and Children's Affairs, detailing measures taken to promote gender equality.
So the key findings across those 4 strategic sections, for instance, I think we make most progress in terms of public elections and appointment to public office. So we've improved from 13% women in parliament to now 30%. We have also increased the number of appointed women cabinet ministers also to about 34%. Cabinet ministers is about 41. In terms of gender mainstreaming, we have designated gender focal point in all ministries. But unfortunately, the law provides for gender unity in the planning, within the planning directorate of every ministry. But what we have so far, except for I think about 2 ministries, we do not have functional gender units in the ministries, though we have designated gender focal points.
For civil society, the framework should serve as a wake-up call for institutions that are yet to fully implement the provisions of the law.
It's a call, and it's a call because it's no longer a favor for women's participation in politics and in decision-making processes, or having women in leadership position, or having women's representation at the table where decisions are made. It's now mandatory because the laws calls for that, and the laws calls that each and every institution should adhere to that as such, and that is why as an organization we are so appreciative that the ministry is taking lead in this, and we are having other institutions complying. For those who have complied, we say congratulations. For those who have not complied, I think this is a wake-up call that now you have no option, you have to comply with what the law says as such. But
beyond the GWE Act, the ministry says Sierra Leone is also strengthening its commitment to women's participation in peace and security.
Together, we are building a coalition that recognizes the empowerment of women and girls as central to peace, prosperity, and sustainable development. This is why Sierra Leone is among those few nations that have already developed the 3rd generation of the National Action Plan on the WPS agenda, which talks about 1325 resolution by the year. And that agenda is looking at how we prepare women to be included in decision-making processes.
The Gender Accountability Framework is therefore expected to help institutions measure their progress, identify gaps, and improve implementation of the GWI Act. As stakeholders push for greater accountability, the focus remains on translating the law from policy into measurable action for women across Sierra Leone. Edima Conte, AYV News, Freetown.
Now, traders in Kabbalah are raising concerns over the rising cost of doing business, saying high market costs and other expenses are making it increasingly difficult for them to operate and sell goods to consumers. The traders say they are also facing challenges from customers who are struggling with rising prices. They are therefore appealing to the government to take measures to reduce market-related costs and help ease the pressure on businesses and consumers. Let's now hear from our correspondent, AYV's Ibrahim Sudais Kurma, who reports from the provincial town of Kabbalah.
The rising cost of doing business has become a growing concern. They say increasing market charges, transportation costs, and other expenses are putting additional pressure on their businesses, making it difficult to maintain affordable prices for customers. Traders say the situation is also affecting their relationship with customers, as many customers are finding it increasingly difficult to cope with the rising prices of goods and services.
Two businesses right now, we do right now, so the rest they buy in a shop 700 now and don't add pants up and 50,000. We go buy in a bush for the transport business, they make work for cancel, we market, they know they get profits or something out losses. So right now the rest the corporate now. We don't pay 5 million for pork. The country buying back we sell 5 million for pork, but not easy. And the marketing price right now, so we can't sell. Sometimes we get profits, sometimes we can't get profits. Go buy palm oil, like a business all they do. Like the palm oil butter right now, you don't go 600. Now you buy, you can't sit up for seller by pints. Now we say 12,000, but put a grumble 10,000. Now they sell. It's not really easy for we. The whole thing go by so. Sometimes they mixing down there. So now with the camping, now they change price. It's difficult for how they sell. So man they can ask, so it's the price in left and go.
With the cost of doing business continue to rise, the traders are appealing to the government to review market-related charges and introduce measures that could reduce the burden on traders.
Like we as a tendali and country market we do. Yakato wakuro pepe rice now we go buy na bush. Boy they go buy na bush. Some bike man they charge you 300 for earphones. For go 300 can 300 then say fear there. We go buy na we can buy no go sabi that no for severe. Then go say this department. The Ababa government we dey make it let fear go down, what fear go down. Go do business in the fine. And right now, government money back now they take that government money what they take so the money would you woman there. Now they would feed you picking there, now they would take care of picking there, now they would do everything. So right now the business is not easy for you. So they talk to Papa government for they able help we, how they able men will picking there, how they able educate to picking there. So I talk for all the country women there for the do in Palabar district. But it's not easy for we. So also they can go up, all they sell so go means don't go up back. Okay, the sell is difficult for we.
As traders continue to grapple with rising operational costs, they say urgent action is needed to ease the pressure on businesses and customers. Ibrahim Sudais Kuruma, AYV News, Kabbalah Northern Region.
The Children's Advocacy Network notified the police of plans for a peaceful protest next Wednesday over what it calls Parliament's violation of the Constitution in amending it. The group's executive director, Thomas Moore-Conte, made a strong call for government to allow the demonstration to go ahead. Speaking on AYV's Wake Up Sierra Leone earlier today, he insists the protest is lawful and aimed at defending citizens' constitutional rights, and say protesters will follow the law and will not be intimidated. Let's see.
How on earth will the protest undermine national stability? No, it will not. That is why this protest, unlike other protests, has people that have actually presented themselves as the leaders of this protest. It's not a faceless protest.
Okay.
We have given a clear pathway that we wish to take. We are giving reasons why we wish to protest. And we are asking the police for help, to help us with security. It will not in any way undermine national security and stability. And for those who will think that this is just a mere waste of time, it's just a bluff, it's not a bluff. This is a protest that is provided for by the laws. And I will say this, I should be on record, that we are not going to be easy pushovers. We will not be threatened, we will not be subdued. We will ensure that we work within the modest limits of the law, but we will not in any way compromise the interest of the people on the altar of fear and intimidation. Afraid of being arrested. Let me just say this here very clearly. I'm not afraid of being arrested, particularly when you are arrested for the right cause. I'm not going to be arrested because I stole from any bank or any government agency. I'll not be arrested because I raped or did any other offense, but because I stood up to defend the defenseless, to defend the constitution of our country, and to articulate the wishes and aspirations of the people. If that will lead me to Parliament Road, then so be it. I will go to Parliament Road with a very clear conscience. Parliament Road is meant for human beings and not for animals. I will go to Parliament Road with a clear conscience. So I will not at any point be threatened or be intimidated. And that is why we follow the procedures, we follow the laws, and
Executive Director, Citizens Advocacy Network, Thomas Mokonte, speaking there on Wake Up Sierra Leone earlier today. Now, from the supermarket shelves to the small essential commodities shops in our communities, consumers trust that the food and other products they buy are safe for consumption. But how safe are these products, and how well equipped are businesses and regulators to guarantee that safety? In response to this, the Ministry of Trade and Industry, in collaboration with the Ministry of Health, the Sierra Leone Standards Bureau and the Sierra Leone Produce Marketing Board, has organized a training for supermarkets and essential commodity shops across Bow to improve food safety, strengthen compliance, and ensure that products sold to the public meet the required standards. Our reporter Emmanuel Amara Saidu has more from that part of the country.
Supermarkets and essential commodities shop have become an important part of everyday life. For many families, these are the places they trust to provide products that are not just affordable and accessible, but safe. But there is a story behind every product sitting on a shelf. How was it handled? How was it stored? Is it properly labeled? Is it within its expiring period? And does it meet the required safety standards? These are not questions consumers should have to answer alone. Thus, the Ministry of Trade and Industry, in collaboration with the Ministry of Health, the Sierra Leone Standards Bureau, and the Sierra Leone Produce Marketing Board, has organized a training for supermarkets and essential commodities shop across Bow to improve food safety, strengthen compliance, and ensure that products sold to the public meet the required standards.
Sometimes the produce that they get or the product that they get at the stores will not actually expire, but the handling of it. If you store the leak, they go on that product there. Automatically at the point, if somebody don't know it, so that product they don't expire or it's not good for consumption. But in actual fact, it's not point. But adjust the way how it is being handled in the stores. You can't therefore train them, for let them know how to handle them product and the stores them, how to take care of them product on the shelf. Sometimes If the product dey expire, it don't like 2 months or 3 months for expire, take am out of the shelf, put am somewhere, you put am down for let it sell faster, so you no go loss. Because if you loss, the product dey make you loss, then you go loss again for disposal. Because you get to pay for let we dispose of the product na you have. So you know what, for really get that losses dey, you get to put am on the shelf for let you sell am, then you no expire.
The conversation moves beyond simply checking whether a product has expired. Food safety can be affected by how food is transported, stored and handled, temperature control, hygiene, cross-contamination, damaged packaging, proper labeling, and the conditions under which products are displayed for sale.
Well, some of the things that we talked about today in the presentation was about the prerequisite programs for these companies, where you need to have good manufacturing practices, good hygiene practices. You need to also start putting things in place for recording and verification of what you're doing in your premises to ensure that you do meet what the standards are talking about, okay? And also guiding them as to how to start looking out for managing hazards in their premises, wherein they can identify biological hazards, chemical hazards, and physical hazards, and ensure that they find ways of eliminating it or controlling it so it doesn't get to the public.
Be able to save the one that way they sell this food, you don't save a lot of people then, because you when they prepare the food, if you not handle the food well, the food way possible they eat, it will sick. They use safe way they sell at wholesale. Do ya not go right for that food way not to you been right originally, which means you don't go label back the food. That's what they see about people that they do. We don't want people that let them not do that. If they hold you, the law will bet you tranga one.
Regulations alone cannot guarantee safety. Businesses must comply.
We don't get a series of trainings, but we don't take. So this training, we don't learn a lot how to manage with resources in terms of record keeping. When I don't take this to the record keeping, and one of the things that were very good in business, and food safety. How for preserve the food them, so that the people that we go buy from where we go eat, they go appreciate them, and it not go cause any risk.
Supermarkets and essential commodities shop may only be the final stop before a product reaches the consumer, but it is also a critical checkpoint, because behind every shelf is a responsibility to store correctly, handle safely, comply with standards, and ultimately protect the person who pays for that product. Emmanuel Saidu reporting from Bo.
Now, for years, you could recognize him before he even introduced himself. The voice, the personality, the energy, and the dreadlocks, of course. But after carrying his signature locks for nearly half his life, veteran broadcaster Mamaja Jallow, popularly known as DJ Bass, has cut them off. For someone, it's simply a haircut. But for a man whose look became almost as recognizable as his voice, the change raises a bigger question. What does it mean to let go of something you've carried for so long? Let's now join AYV's Mariam Atomi, who has the details to the story with the pictures by Daniel Fobi.
The dreadlocks followed him behind the microphone, in television studios, at public events, and through some of the defining moments of his career. But the man behind them has always been more than an appearance. Mamaja Jallow has spent decades in Sierra Leone's media industry, building a reputation as a broadcaster, presenter, and social commentator. From radio to television, DJ Bass became a familiar voice, using his platforms to entertain, challenge, and engage the public on issues affecting society. At AYV, he hosted programs including Back to Base and Hot Seat, placing him at the center of public conversation.
No one poor man back from power. Why? What I mean, well, what's a poor man mean? You can get your integrity, you know what I mean, eh? But again, you must strong a little bit. Let's say standard. Look at the solar lines and what we talk about. We know they walk around the beach. We know they walk around the Hillside Bypass Road. We know they walk around King Aman Road.
Then came the moment few expected, the scissors. What had become part of his public identity was cut away, and suddenly, a familiar face looked unfamiliar.
And your blessings shall live on, shall live on, shall live on. Let's give thanks and praise.
For someone who had carried the star for nearly half his life, this was no ordinary transformation. It marked the end of an era.
The background are common and full of background, so they're not being like dandy. But one of the things that we make do the dreadlocks and for change the perception of people, and doing the dreadlocks and for say you can still be who I be and still get dreadlocks. One of the things that we make have been decided for police dreadlocks, like when they go make we can not take long time. For example, I can go to UK to my wife, I not can do anything. But when I come, what they see the way they rub the head, I the feel I'm made can't. So one day I said this I get for pulling because I'm able to like body. Put the cream or lens in and they well doing the dreadlocks also, the shaker and the shaker and the shaker. Sometimes make it like I don't want anything to bug me. So I don't plan to say that. I mean one of the reasons why I don't plan to say they don't. So the other reason is I get a bond, I get a tie with I mean, of course, not some mama tell me for cut the dread, not some mama tell me. And I guess somebody will look say, I mean, without the dread, I mean you can still do what you do. So my reason of cutting this dread, one reason the way, hopefully by over the weekend, maybe by Monday, people will know the real reason we make I decide for cotton.
His transformation also marks the passage of time. The young broadcaster who entered the industry decades ago is now a veteran whose career has spanned generations of listeners and viewers. Technology has shifted, radio and television have shifted, audiences have shifted, and now so has one of the most recognizable parts of himself.
DJ Bass has been known with the dreadlocks for years, decades. But I think for me, I would want to say maybe it's the power of love. I think DJ Bass is in love, and I think I want to believe it's love. Maybe the woman in question wants that new look because that's the only way you can explain it. My brother, enjoy the love.
One day he did on an interview on TikTok and he say, few weeks from now we'll get for cuts made dreadlocks. And I say, wow. I say, really? I say, I go on for see a DJ Bass they cut in dreadlocks. And indeed, AI video become away. A lot of people they say, hey, DJ Bass don't cut in locks. And I pick up phone and call and say, DJ Bass, is it true? He say, no. He say, I they cut them soon. And indeed, he do, the cutting of in dreadlocks.
Perhaps the real question isn't whether people like the new look, but whether the man remains the same without it.
And one minute, man, I like reggae music, and I know say reggae connected with dreadlocks. And I like reggae. I know say reggae get message. Me, one of the people in way promote reggae music. We talk about reggae, but DJ Bass. So all over the world, people they call me all over. Hey, you don't cut the dread, you don't see it. Even when the eye been go, people get so much concerning. The other thing again, some people are happy, some like them Muslim or Fulham, and then like I don't know, but then get them perception. But what you want to change again from this cutting of the dreadlocks is you can still cut the dreadlocks, you still be who I be. So I want to make down the and I don't people go say we cutting dreadlocks, in sense go no, in sense the inside, It's just a style and I still stand for it in people know me for and I will still continue to do that.
For years, his dreadlocks were almost inseparable from DJ Bass, seen in studios, on screens, and at public events. Today, they're gone, but his transformation suggests that changing the outside doesn't mean losing who you are. The style may be gone, but the experience and legacy remain.
A lot of Rasta people, Rasta, they call me back. Hey, bro, it's about to happen, one man down this, and I say, man. And Morgan Heritage say, you don't have to be a dread to be a Rasta. Not the mind, And me, not the heart inside, I'm still who I am, and I'll still do that and day. So many reggae artists that don't get dread. So what's it signify? So I want to change that concept for Salon people.
Perhaps his story is a reminder that we can outgrow an old version of ourselves without losing the person we've always been. From decades behind the microphone to a fresh look, Mama Jajalo is a proof that even the most familiar identities can change. The dreadlocks are gone, but the story continues. Maya Matomi, AYV News, Freetown.
Indeed, a familiar man looking perfectly unfamiliar. Many thanks indeed to AYV's Maya Matomi for putting that report together. Moving on, this is Primetime News on AYV Television and Radio. Stay tuned for more stories. I shall be back after the break.
Do you know you can transfer money, buy airtime, and pay all your utility bills in just a minute? You can have access to your accounts anytime, anywhere. Welcome to the world of fast and easy. GT Wall. With the GT Wall, you can transfer money from one GT Co account to another, pay utility bills, get account statements, get airtime, and check your balance. With GT Wall, you can buy Exa anytime, anywhere. You can go to App Store or Play Store on your iPhone and Android devices, download the app, and enjoy. GT Co. Wouldn't you rather bank with us?
Mutik. This one is for the bold ones. People who shape their world and the winners who still put in the work. Cheers to those who start great things. When you start, you're hard to stop. You raise your game and never back down because you're bold enough to make it. To you I say, never stop. Mutik, never stop starting.
All right, welcome back. I am Victor Jones and this is AYV's Primetime News. Thank you very much indeed for joining us tonight. Let's take more stories. Now, in the wake of the August 15th flash flood, McKinney's Traders Union has launched a large-scale clearing of canal across the city, aiming to clear blocked drains and lower the risk of a repeat disaster. Prevention, they say, beats cure. The flood swept through homes, wrecked businesses, and rendered major streets in McKinney impassable. Let's join Augusta Ethel Toure for the story.
The August 15 left homes flooded and businesses destroyed, but no deaths were recorded. But the damage is huge. Today, the Traders Union in McKinney has embarked on massive cleaning of canals to prevent future flooding.
The traders say the exercise is meant to safeguard their businesses and communities.
So this cleaning from we empty traders, the flood is heavy and the rain they come. And when they go to if you know open them, you know go find for them up there. So now make we snap as soon as we empty traders zone, now we can open go for them. So let the people here will save for the market. What is it?
All this pleasure, it's this pleasure I don't lock for how many months? So like you see no one as the eyewitness. First now Bobo will pay out of your own and small money they collect between we trade at them. So now this we get a small we say pay them Bobo they just like you see no money. So right now the water they run freely and this involves friendly environment. So if like the thing they go to it will find for me because all those children are trader we they deal with them. So if this trader is just on side enough conducive like in our hotel well for
we just think and wise we all are business people now. Of course, we don't need to have on the stop with company traders them. If they affect we with the leaders them. So now to make a team, we're gonna council, we're gonna district council, go to the make help we will not get because this is just new organization will not start. Will not get sponsor, will not get no funny. We go there, the mayor talk to we, the chairman of the district council talk to we. We thought and say we want to make a last Saturday of the month, then thought and say since the water don't overcome we don't do our next Sunday. So we decide for do and today.
Meanwhile, the mayor of McKinney City Council, Abubakar Lamtels Kamara, has met with key stakeholders to address the flood toll on the city.
We want to sympathize with the people of McKinney, those who own businesses, those who own properties that has been destroyed, and the people. I want to encourage them that to take heart and let's see what is going to be. We will try as much as possible, collectively, collaboratively with government agencies, NGOs, so that we can try to avoid its occurrences again.
As the cleanup continues, residents say they welcome the effort but want it to sustain throughout the rainy season to safeguard lives and property. Augusta Ethel Touye, AYV News, McKinney.
Sierra Leone's Mariam Lobakone has taken the country's colors to the global fashion stage in Vietnam, joining more than 120 Miss World contestants in the top model competition at the Vietnam Beauty Fashion Festival. Walking with confidence in a striking bridal creation by Gianni Bridal, Mariam showcased Sierra Leonean elegance and style as her Miss World journey gathers momentum. AYV's Entertainment's Emmanuela Lewis reports.
Sierra Leone's representative Mariam Lobakone has proudly represented Sierra Leone on the runway at the Vietnam Beauty Fashion Festival, where she joined other Miss World contestants for the top model competition. Looking confident and poised, Mariam walked the runway in a stunning bridal creation by Gianni Bridal, bringing elegance and personality to the fashion showcase. The festival theme, the Green Wall, brought together contestants for a colorful fashion representation inspired by nature, beauty, and environmental consciousness. Speaking about the event, Mariam expressed her readiness for the challenge, declaring that she was up and ready to conquer the day and definitely did not come to play. She also acknowledged Gianni Bridal and her supporters for their continued backing throughout for our Miss World journey. The Vietnam Beauty Fashion Festival is one of several activities Mariam has taken part in since arriving in Vietnam for the 75th anniversary edition of Miss World. From the official engagements to cultural activities and competitions, the Sierra Leonean beauty has continued to make her presence felt among more than 120 contestants from around the world. Emmanuela Luis, AYV News.
Now for the latest in sport tonight, I've been joined by Sir Solomon Yumba. Good evening.
Good evening, Victor, and thank you for having me. Now for sports this evening on Primetime News, Leone Stars head coach Didier Gomez da Rosa has begun home-based training at the SLFA Academy, launching preparations for the 2027 African qualifiers. The training aimed at assessing technically selected local players ahead of September's opening fixtures against Zimbabwe and Equatorial Guinea, witnessed by SLFA Vice President 1 and Technical Committee Chairman Ali Badara Tarawali. He urged players to stay focused and disciplined, stressing that selection will be based strictly on competence and performance as camp preparations continue. And finally for sports, 4 Atletical Vaticana athletes will compete at the 30th Mediterranean Games in Taranto, Italy, from August 21st to September 3rd, joining roughly 4,000 competitors from 26 nations. Pope Leo called the Games a prophecy of peace and fraternity, while the course of the athletes will remain in Italy's cathedral throughout the competition as a spiritual reference point for the competition. But that's all for sports tonight on Primetime News. Over to you, Victor Jones.
Many thanks indeed, Sir Solomon, as always. Well, that's all for Primetime News tonight. For more stories, as always, do visit our website at www.ayvnews.com. And if you have any comments on this news or any of our programs, indeed, do send us an email to info@ayvnews.com. Victor Jones is my name. Many thanks indeed for watching and listening tonight. Goodbye.
You're watching AYV Television.
Checking your motor insurance status can be done easily now with AfriCell. Dial *9292# from your AfriCell line. Press 1 to enter your vehicle registration number. Enter your vehicle registration number. You receive a confirmation message indicating your motor insurance status. AfriCell, the network for you.
with a taste this crisp, this pure, and this refreshing. It's like the whole world stops for you. 100% pure malt. Respect every sip.
As mama, I always want waiting best for me picking them, especially when it comes out waiting them for eat and drink. Now this make I always they choose Sarah juice because they make come from with local foods them and nutritious and it gets less sugar than the other drinks them. Not to me say so.
We love test show say Sarah juice gets 50% less sugar than the other drinks them na the market.
Because we mama they know waiting best for we picking them, now you make we always they choose Sarah juice. Sarah juice is nutritious, it's healthy, and it's sweet. Sarah juice, not the taste of Salone.
You can get Curry's beer and stout all over the country. Curry's beer and stout, you paddy, we're good for all gladdy.
The world don't go digital. Now that's when Wakeup commercial bank ready for match up with the world. This is the e-banking department. We get products and services them we use online. Listen to what we call
the e-banking department responsible for all the electronic products of the bank. One, the ATM machines where you can get cash easily from, the points of sales when are some small terminal where you can do your transaction, where they do online transactions as well, where you can sit on any site now this world and do transactions. Commercial bank, e-banking, now the solution to all digital transactions in the country.
For Wakeup with Boko money, not at this time. So, go inside any local commercial bank today and get to couple card, you Visa Classic, and Property card for making transactions easy.
Gonna shop, you can use the POS and do your transaction easy.
Play with my hair, trust expression, 'cause it makes me stay expressive. Do it yourself, don't waste